So this is an example interview that I ran with Mark, and he was a chief product officer at a startup down in Sydney, Australia.
Uh, Mark Neely, company is Leap Forward AI. We're a startup based here in Sydney.
Okay.
My notional role is chief product officer, so lots of moving parts and all that. Took me a few months to get my head around the business, around the sector, around how the current MVP worked. I had a view on what was good and bad about that, but that's the wrong way to sort of take a lens into any of this. Like you look at it from a customer's perspective, not your own personal biases or what have you.
Okay.
So I knew I would need to bring in someone who had that lens into the process.
What triggered it?
Well, so three things. One, I didn't have budget to hire a team internally.
Okay.
So needed to use an external source. Two, I knew from a product strategy perspective, we were changing core aspects of the customer experience, and so it warranted a fresh set of eyes. We can't just lift and shift the web experience and make that a mobile app. We were trying to retune the customer experience. So there was a second driver of that, and then the third driver of it was I need this done in a relatively quick pace. So it's more.
So as you can see, he's just joined a company. He's there to redo their strategy, and he knows that he needs to change the customer experience, and he wants a fresh pair of eyes to get a lens on what do those customers want.
From a customer experience perspective, our biggest challenges are that we have customers, not clients, customers from all walks of life. Truck drivers get injured, hairdressers get injured, white collar workers get injured, brain surgeons get injured. We're from all walks of life who will have different levels of technological skill and different preferences for using technology. So we have to design the most user-friendly, intuitive experience.
Now in this, he's talked about the need to redesign the customer experience, and he's talked earlier about getting a consultant in to give him a fresh pair of eyes. As somebody that sells customer interviews and research into what customers want, this would be music to my ears. And if I stopped there, I could just believe that he'd love to get me in to do some interviews of those truck drivers or whoever, so that we could design the most intuitive interface possible. But then when I dig deeper to find out what he really bought, we will see a trade-off here. And it's very instrumental, because this is how you should design your product, based on what people do, not what people say they want.
Doing this, did they literally just say, look, we've got this experience, we're just going to bring what we already know and design it based on that? Or did they go off and talk to existing customers, or the truck driver or the hairdresser or whoever, to make sure that they...
Now, look, I know it's against best practice. Didn't have the time or the budget to do that. So what I could do was give them access to our working V1. What I could do was give them access to our audit of that, where we thought it was lacking, where we thought it was great. The experiences we want to keep, the experiences we wanted to change. And then we intensively mapped out what we saw. Once we'd signed up, we did the warts and all. Let's start with a blank piece of paper, remap the customer journey. What are they thinking, seeing, doing at each stage? What does that user flow look like? Where are the hero screens? And we sort of built that over time.
That's interesting, because you said you wanted, obviously wanted a fresh pair of eyes. You wanted the customer perspective, not your perspective. And then at the end, you're like, well, we haven't got the time to talk to customers. So like, why no time? Why not just extend the project to get that customer perspective from Aunt Sally or whoever it was?
Yeah, budget.
Oh, okay. So we could have done it, but actually we'll never get finished
you can always do it if you have the budget and the time in your plan to do it. And as I said, it's against best practice. If money was not an option, I'd have done that without fail.
And so there you have it. In this particular case, in this particular job, Mark will trade off the features he knows he wants, direct customer interviews, to save money and to move faster. And if we can design based on what people do, we can build better products and services, and we can make more money ourselves. Cheers.